when God created Adam, he put him in charge of his resources. And what are God's resources? God's resources are everything that belongs to God. God put Adam to manage the resources of the earth, the birds of the air, the fishes in the sea, the plants, everything on the earth, including Eve, and also the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Genesis 2 verse 15 says, "And the Lord took the man and put him into the garden to dress it and to keep it," meaning to manage it. God was saying, manage everything in this garden, including the tree you are not meant to touch. Sometimes stewardship is not just about what you can use, but what you must learn to leave alone. Adam failed to manage God's resources. That is why he had a hard life. In my own revelation, I don't think God was just raining curses on Adam, but he was introducing Adam to the consequences of being a poor manager. God was also revealing to man the kind of life we will have if we touch the resources we are meant to keep. To some of us today, the resources you are not meant to touch are the ones God has reserved for your future, such as your future investments. It can also be your tithe and your offerings to your God. I remember when someone gifted me money and God led me to keep that money and not to touch it for a particular period of time. And after a while, when I wanted to publish my book, Qualities of a Good Woman, God led me to go back to that money and invest in this book. That money was given to me for an entirely different reason, but God instructed me, use this for your book. And I noticed since then that each time I needed money for anything or concerning this book, God always supplies before my need arises or anything that concerns the works of my hand, because I managed the resources that God put in my hand and I obeyed when he gave me an instruction not to touch it. So this is how things work in this kingdom. God has called you and I as a manager, and he has put resources in our hands, and he can tell you to use it for anything concerning his purpose or anything he wants you to do, including your tithes, including your offerings, including seeds to promote his kingdom. You must understand something, that as money is important to you, that is how the money in your hands is important to God. If God can be Lord over your life, he can also be Lord over your resources and your finances. If you don't see the money in your hand as part of God's resources, you don't see God as your financial source.